Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the fireplace friend, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi, by the fireplace.
It is 281, December 11th. Let's get right into it. In the transits today, Mercury sextile Venus.
First step toward an alliance.
December 12th, Tuesday, new moon at 20 degrees Sagittarius.
Climbing the way to the top.
December 13th, Wednesday, Mercury stations retrograde.
Yep, changes the Trigon to fire.
December 16th, Saturday, Sun square Neptune.
Overwhelming empathy.
And to finish up the week, December 17th, Sunday, Mercury sets as an evening star. Then in Talisman.
He disappears.
And then in Talisman time, Sandy has a talisman of the month for us to work together for success together. And on the horizon, our December forecast, our annual, very special year ahead forecast. And this coming Wednesday, December 13th, we have our annual trunk show that you won't want to miss out on. And in our house, Sandy has some stories to share about her trip to Santa Fe. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, fireplace friend.
I know. I feel like I'm in charge of the fireplace here in our Kiva in Santa Fe. And so today I was like, today I'm gonna write my astrology by the fireplace. So I built one like at 8 o'clock this morning.
That sounds wonderful. And I love days like that because I love my fireplace. And it's kind of like when you play a record, you kind of have to be actively engaged in it. You just can't forget about it because all of a sudden it stops burning or it stops playing the music you want. So it's always nice to kind of have that mindfulness about what you're actively doing in a passive way.
Well, yeah, because it just it snowed many inches before we got here. So the log pile was engulfed in snow. So
Oh,
so by moving, like moving some logs from the snow pile to the front door where it can and put it in the
dry
sun
off.
so it can dry out, and then we move it inside. So there's multiple parts to this, right?
Right.
Yeah. Which is just being on top of it.
Right. Absolutely.
That engagement you said.
I want to go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you again for tuning in to our astrology podcast here. It is so wonderful to receive your messages, to receive your love. This one is from Kelly Dolson. She is from Ontario, Canada, and she sent in a message about her personal talisman. She says, finding one's intention statement and that best affirmation statement that can help you focus has helped me focus to what is within me that I can share with others.
Yeah.
And so that is just like a really wonderful place of like really honing in on what your intention is, and that intention to, be of service and to share that with other people is a very powerful place to come from.
And as an astrologer, when we sit and look at their natal chart and what scenario is going on in the sky that reflects back into the natal chart and what is activating, and to have and I'm not trying to toot my horn, but kind of like having a professional of some nature kind of help mold or help sculpture something from kind of out of nothing, right? And finding that it in turn kind of dings the center of one's soul, right? And that's what I'm experiencing, that's what I experience when I'm doing the personal talismans.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, you've written over thousands
Yeah.
of intentions throughout the years. And yeah, I think that does actually make you a professional.
Yeah.
So much experience. And then also to do it with people one-on-one and guide them through, that's huge. That's why we have life coaches. That's why we have business coaches. That's why we have, people to aid
Therapist.
us,
Yeah.
therapists, somebody who is experienced, that's done this before, that can help guide you. Because sometimes we all know that when we're like goal setting or we're trying to create a vision for ourselves, it can be so hard because we don't want to, go too outlandish and not reach our goal, but we also don't want to just play it small.
Mhm.
Right. So it's about finding that, like, that juicy middle.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I love
So
doing this work.
yeah. So let's move into the transits. We have a week ahead. Do you have any comments about this wonderful week ahead?
Well, we got Mercury getting ready to station retrograde, so he's slowed down, or I should say stopped at, right around 8 degrees of Capricorn. So anyone having that in their natal charts needs to be paying attention. But let's just go through the we got a new moon. So, it's a recalibrating kind of week,
Okay.
but starting something new, but calibrating at the same time.
Awesome. And plus, we have a very special event that's happening this week on December 13th, and it's the annual trunk show. So we're going to talk about that later on the horizon. So we'll start here in the transits with our forecast. So December 11th, Monday, also today, if you're listening on time, Mercury sextile Venus.
Yeah, and I call this your first step toward alliance. This is the one meeting. And, is one meeting enough? Because Mercury is about to go retrograde, but he will not move in a second or third pass to Venus, because she's moving equally as fast. And she's moving ahead and he's going backwards. So they're only going to meet this one time. But, is this one meeting enough? Probably not, but it's a start. It's kind of plan on continuing by setting something up, like setting the first act, like, what is our action step? What is the next step? And when do we have let's set up a next conversation date, right? It's kind of like, let's start our meeting and we'll take this slow and kind of in a process, like, let's work on this and what's our next step, let's work on that and what's the next step. Because with this Mercury going backwards, it at least has got an assignment here on Monday to do some of what you were just talking about earlier, the research or the review of what may have come in on Monday the 11th.
Right. So moving on to the next transit for the week, December 12th, Tuesday, we have a new moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius.
Yeah, this comes in at 5:32 p.m. And again, we won't see the moon. She is becoming new again. So she is zero light, right? And I called this climbing the way to the top without light, not seeing clearly, rely on insight because you have no outsight, right?
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because it's a new moon. That means the moon and the sun are both at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. And what rules Sagittarius?
It's a fire sign ruled by Jupiter.
And Jupiter is averse, because Jupiter is in Taurus right now, averse to this Sagittarius. So the ruler of the sun and the moon is not in aspect, cannot be seen, which again is not helpful. Right? Jupiter's not helping to show a light to get to the top of where you want to climb. And we've got the square to Neptune. It's a pretty tight square. It's within 4 degrees. Again, Neptune is creating that not seeing clearly. So there's no spotlight. We have to use our intuitive, insightful knowing and which way we are to go. Are we to go slightly right, slightly left, straight, or do we pause for a moment? So, new moons are always a time to set seeds, plant seeds, set something up. But how do we climb the way? How do we climb, Sagittarius, like climbing the mountaintop, getting to the top to see what our future, or, beyond where our surroundings are right now. We need to get up and up and up. But the square to Neptune says we have to trust our intuition
Mm,
on how to climb. Which way do we go?
right. That's great.
Mm.
Exciting. So let's see. Which it kind of reminds me of when I had to climb the mountain in Bali. I didn't have to.
Yep.
I chose to climb the mountain in Bali.
Yep.
But it was so dark that we only had a little headlamp and you could not see in like past a radius of like maybe a couple feet around you. And then once the light came up, you know, above the clouds when we were at the top and then we made our way down, it was more terrifying. It was more terrifying because you could see the
Yeah.
sheer cliffs that you were walking right next to, right?
Right. And so there is that, I trust this. And, had you literally seen what you had to climb, you may have said, no, thank you.
I totally might have. And now it makes so much sense why you must have a guide. You must have a guide when you are climbing up for the like midnight sunrise, like where you do like the midnight climb for the sunrise that comes up over the clouds. It's an incredible experience. I can't speak to that enough, but anyway, that was just kind of reminding me of that. Just even though you don't have the outer sight, you have the inner sight where you can trust yourself and trust your next steps.
And it just proves to you sometimes when you see everything, it's fearful.
Right. It's true. It's true. So, okay. Let's move on to December 13th, Wednesday. Mercury stations retrograde.
Right. And he's changing trigons to fire. So, he had been in water. So he's changing to fire signs. And so he's going to be retrograde here from 8 degrees of Capricorn all the way through January 2nd. So it's a lot of right? Like any RE words. It's what I'm teaching in Mexico.
Right.
I've got all the people that are going to Mexico really identifying in their journals or their calendars of what's going on situational that they're going to be rectifying or reviewing or redoing. And we're going to view that again while Mercury is now stationing direct at the retreat in early January to see how that's going to resolve it. The situations will resolve themselves with our help or without our help. So yeah, really interesting when this Mercury changes retrograde into certain element, right? Now it's in fire, so it's more about action taken, right? Yeah.
Let's see. Next up, we have December 16th, Saturday, Sun Square Neptune.
Yeah, this is overwhelming empathy. I mean, we got a square here. And, give time and money to someone in need. Not just anybody that's got their hands out, So, I know that the red buckets are out at the stores or at the grocery store, or at the Walgreens, with the bell. And, I always give to that, because in reference to my father, my dad used to do that. And he didn't like ringing the bell that they're all to ring. And he brought a saxophone and would play saxophone. And they fired him.
It's so much better.
Yeah. So anyway,
they didn't understand his vision.
Give your time, give your money to someone really in need that's not always asking for a handout. It's like it's called tithing, right? It's called tithing. Share your goods with others.
Yes.
It was a great day to do it. We're, just a couple weeks before Christmas, or actually we're we're just 9 days to Christmas at this point.
Right.
Pick something off the church tree, provide something, a coat, socks, boots, something, even if they're used. This is just a great time to have this,
Giving.
like when you put together a box of things you don't need, do 2 boxes.
Yeah.
Because you got way more than you need.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. And that kind of like also reminds me too of maybe a good option this year is to give gifts that are really meaningful, something like a handwritten letter, something like that you have to spend your time and energy on rather than just a quick thought, a quick Google search, or just a little bit of, a bit of money. So I think that.
Do you remember what I asked for you and Andrew to give to me for Christmas?
A video.
Kind of like that. It doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
I want to laugh. And I know that the videos you do will be awesome, but also funny.
Yeah.
And I like that experience.
We will see.
If I get that. Otherwise, I want a big gift.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the end of the week. December 17th, Sunday, Mercury setting as an evening star.
Yeah, he's retrograde, so he's going back toward the sun. So, we can see him in the evening sky currently, but he now gets sun's moving forward, he's moving backwards. So he now is, when the sun is getting ready to set, he's with the sun, so we cannot see him. And it'll be December 29th when he rises as a morning star. So he's changing his direction, and he's going to be coming up just like Venus is right now. Venus is a morning star, and he will become a morning star by the end of the month. So again, on our retreat in January, we'll see him as a morning star.
That's cool.
So we'll get up early at some of the things that I've got planned.
Both the sunrises and the sunsets in Mexico are absolutely wonderful. And you get to see them right outside your room, big, like, glass doors that you can walk out on and just enjoy your cup of coffee, or, at dinner where we sit as a big group and just get to witness this infinity pool scene into the Sea of Cortez with some islands out in the distance and this incredible sunset.
Well, we see the sunrise over the Sea of Cortez, and
that's right. That's right.
over the mountains behind us, but you can
That's
see
what I mean.
Yeah.
the colors
yeah,
that we get to see.
Although we did see that the full moon rise one
Mm.
day when we went down to the beach and watched that. I had it all timed, and we were playing particular music, and all of a sudden, right from over top of the water came the full moon.
Yeah. And nobody knew about it. It was so exciting. Okay, so that is a wrap for our week, everybody. But this is going to be one that we can transform with and we can grow with. So let's move into talisman times. There are no finished or upcoming. However, the talisman of the month we are reminding you about: to work together for success together. This affirmation for this talisman is: together we design and construct a community plan for the people. Kind of reminds me of the HOA board meetings that we were just a part of. But yeah, together we design and construct a community plan for the people around us. Whether it's
you're getting multiple perspectives of what one needs, what one can offer, because you're getting a collective view of what needs to be available for everyone to have success.
Right. And there also is negotiation, and there's, a little bit of sacrifice, but then there's also sharing and giving and growing. So
Compromise.
It always is good when we come together as a community. So of course that talisman of the month is on special. So if you click that link, not only do you get a free shipping credit, you get a discount. So head over there. The link is in the description. Moving on the horizon, where we have finished up our December forecast and the cheat sheet PDF that you can download now, watch now, on our patreon.com community page called Chatting with the Stars. We did just have a couple of members join, so I wanted to give them both a shout out. Thank you so much for trusting in those wonderful forecasts that Sandy and Susan give, and even the readings that you can have either quarterly or once a month. They are pretty spectacular.
Yeah, especially if you're working through something that's a little bit, gritty, right? And you're frozen, or you're in fear, or you don't know which way to go. To have a someone that you can trust, that can help you along the path, kind of
Right.
take your hand and lead you, but you're doing the work.
Right, but you also, it's not just one person, it's two people, and
Yeah.
it's two astrologers, both with their specialties that are discussing your chart. It is unheard of. This does not happen often. And just the special union that you and Susan have when you come together, it's not only fun, but it's so educational, and it's exciting and inspiring.
Yeah, it's kind of what happens when you put a Pisces and a Capricorn together, right?
Some really serious astrology forecasts.
Right. It's like, I want to go this way, and Susan pulls me back and says no.
It's
I'm
a
like,
great,
well, yeah. I'm like, can you edge a little bit? Can you give us some space here? We don't have to be so borderline. And she'll go, okay.
yeah. You guys work so well together. Also, big announcement. December 13th, we have our annual trunk show. This is a really awesome event that one of the coolest things about this is that you can purchase raffle tickets, and you need to purchase at least one to join, but they're $10, and your name gets put into this big raffle for a talisman of your choice worth $244, where it's so unheard of. We really don't raffle these off much. And this trunk show, Sandy will bring up to the screen all of our favorite talismans. If you have one in particular that you saw on the website that you have questions about, that you want to see if it's a good fit for you, this is your opportunity. This is a wonderful event where it's so personal, it's so intimate, and you get to see all of these beautiful talismans kind of in movement in real life. So,
And if you buy 10, say you buy 10
raffle
raffle
tickets.
tickets, your name goes in 10 times.
Yes, and even better about these raffle tickets, I can't believe I didn't mention this, but with every one that you buy, you get that same amount on a gift certificate. So basically, you're just buying a gift certificate, and then in every $10 increment, you are getting a free raffle ticket to
It's
win.
really a gift inside a gift, right?
Yes. We call that a no-brainer. So yes, we would love for you to join this really special trunk show event happening December 13th at 6 p.m. Central. Show up and bring your questions, bring the talismans that you are curious about. Let's move on. We also have our 2024 retreat lineup starting. I'm going to start with the Bali retreat in April 3rd to the 14th. This is an unforgettable, absolutely wonderful retreat. The retreat page link has been updated in my show notes. So if you wanted to see what it looks like, where we stay, and all of that, I highly recommend it because we stay at this place called Ananda Cottages, and the people of just not only this resort but Bali in general are they're inspiring, and they're so loving, and they're so caring, and they're so positive.
They're so authentic with their whole human body and infinite source. Like, they don't need much to be so much, right? Like, so giving when they have very little. It just makes us think that we need to fill 7 boxes to give
We've
away.
got it backwards. We've totally got it backwards. And those are always the lessons that Bali teaches us every single year that we go. That's why we have people coming every year with us to Bali. So if you are interested, you can get a free 15-minute call with Sandy, asking any questions, even taking a look at your chart to see what is going to be going on during that time. Is this going to be a really awesome retreat and life-changing experience for you? Ask those questions during that free 15-minute call. That link is in the description for more info and for you to schedule. September 22nd through the 29th. This is a week in Greece. I can't speak highly enough about this retreat. Just take a look at the pictures. Just inquire about it, and we will give you tons of information, and this amazing luxury resort as well. We'll give you the link to check it out. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's in Amargos Island. So it's in the Aegean Sea. It's not, you fly into Athens and then I get you on a ferry, which is all inclusive. And we're teaching Venus Star Point with the author of Venus Star Point. Ariel Gutman is my special.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
And we're already filling people up. Early bird is still early bird will close on this early. So there's only about another month that the early bird is still available.
And you get to save $300, which that can go so far when it comes to souvenirs, when it comes to spa treatments. So consider that. Really do consider that. All right. So let's move on to our house, where you have some stories to share about your trip to Santa Fe.
So I'm currently in Santa Fe, and I have relatives here. So I found Santa Fe early in my life with my dad's brother living here. And it's always been a portion of the world that anybody that comes here loves it. But not everybody has been here, right? So I take the train every year. So I brought 2 friends with me this time. So we got this really cute 3-bedroom home, real close to the plaza, seeing some friends, and just the one I had last night with Michael Bartlett, who is an astrologer. And another astrologer who lives here, Erin Sullivan, is in her, I guess, her final degrees of transitioning, and Michael goes and sees her often. And I guess last time he was there, I don't know if she asked, but he brought back a ton of 2 massive bookshelves of her books.
Wow.
I guess she wanted him to have them. So he went through the books last night and gifted me 2.
Wow, that's so cool.
And they're sitting here on my lap with all of Erin's notes and tabs and
oh, that's awesome.
Post-its. And he gave me the Book of World Horoscopes by Nicholas Champion, which we all probably have. I don't have this one, but evidently it's the review copy that was given to Erin that she was reviewing.
Whoa.
Review copy. So it's one of the first. And then he gave me also a book written by Erin, because I carry that Retrograde Planets book of Erin's that she wrote, which is really probably what in my opinion, put her on the astrology map.
Mm-hmm.
However, she wrote this other book that I didn't know about called The Astrology of Midlife and Aging.
Wow.
And not only did he give this to me, there's like notes and papers and comments all along that she has written all along the pages. So just a beautiful connection that
In memory. Yeah.
with. She's still here. And I just have great memory of Erin. She was always an intense being.
She does have like a penetrating gaze. She
does. Very scorpionic, right? But just always a beautiful soul. I've always loved her. I mean, I don't know that she would ever remember me, but we had several conversations outside La Fonda and some places here in Santa Fe, because this is where she was. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, wow. Well, we wish her well, and our prayers.
Incredible work she's done for astrology over the years. Incredible work. Mea culpa. Thank you.
And with that, I think that is a wrap on our episode today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here again this week. We, of course, love all of your feedback. So if you have any emails, any pictures, any WhatsApp messages, make sure to send those over, and we will share that here on the podcast with you all. Thank you again, everybody, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you.